Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial will be on how to make this beautiful gown. Easy to make. Let's get started. So guys, we'll be needing our fabrics, then the tape rule and others. So you fold your material like this using your highest circumference, which can be your bust or your hip, usually your hip. So you fold it, so you divide the circumference by 4, then you add like 2 or 3 inches, then you fold. You understand? So we'll be cutting the front and the back together. So you draw the starting point line like this. Once you are done with this, the next is to measurement. When you mark it, then you measure out 1 inch, then you measure also 3 inches. These are standard, you understand? So you draw it out like so. So this is called slope is slanting. Human body measurement, the shoulder is not straight. So guys, the next is to measure the full length of your gown. When you measure your full length of the gown, you add 2 inches for allowance. You understand? Sorry, it's not showing. I think in my camera, the way I placed my camera. So just measure out your full length and add 2 inches for folding of the hem. Okay. Next, guys, you divide your bust measurement by 6, then you add 2 inches to get your armhole line. So this is your armhole line. You get it from shoulder to this point that I just drew out. You understand? So you draw it out like so. This is the armhole line. You understand? So I'll divide this armhole line by 2, then divide my bust by 4 and get the armhole curve. Divide your bust by 4. Guys, remember to add ease because this is a free gown. You understand? So you draw it out. So if your bust measurement, if you divide by 4, if it gives you 9, you can add 1 inch for ease. Next is the neck width and neck depth. So guys, here I'll be using 4.5 inches because I don't want it to be too tight. So I'll use 4.5 inches. Then the depth, I will use I will use 4 inches for the front. Then for the back depth, I will be using 1 inch for the back depth. Remember, this is a cut together. After cutting it, I'm going to separate the front from the back. You understand? So this is how to do it. Then the next is to mark out your waist circumference. That's from your shoulder to your waist. You can take your own body measurement and mark it out. If yours is 16, you can make it 16 and a half because you will still sew it. You understand? So this is the waistline. The next, so from the waistline, I'll measure out 9 inches for the hip line. Hope you are getting me. Measure out 9 inches for the hip line. So I'll draw it out. So using my ruler, I'm going to mark out the hip line. So next guy is to divide your waist by 4. Divide your waist by 4. So if your waist is 30, divide by 4 and add 1 inch for ease because it is a free gown. You divide your waist by 4 and mark it out. Divide your hip by 4 and mark out at the hip line. So remember to add 1 inch on the waist for ease, 1 inch on the hip for ease. So I'll use my ruler to mark out like this. So on the hemline, divide your hip by 4, add and draw it out. Just what you did at the hip, that's what you do at the hem line. You understand? So exactly what you did at the hip. So you draw it out. Next is to add your allowance. Guys, we are almost done. So we are going to be adding our allowance. So you can add 2 inches, you can add 1.5 inch is allowance. So let's put in our allowance. You put it at the armhole side, you put it at the waist, then the hip and the hem line. So I'll just mark it out, draw it out like this. So guys, once I'm done with this, I'll cut it out, then work on the front armhole. So I'm going to cut it out. So I'll just cut off the shoulder slope and the back neck line. You understand? Just the back, because I want to separate it. So I'm going to remove the back, then work on the front armhole. So I've removed one piece for the back. So using this, I'll now cut off the front neck line, which is 4 or 4.5, depending on your size. You understand? Yeah. So on the front armhole, I'm going to go in by 0.75 and slant it like this to avoid puffiness at the armhole. All those excesses that you see at the armhole, this is the way to eliminate it. So I'll just trim it off like this. So guys, we are almost done with the with the cutting. You understand? We are almost done. The next thing on this is to cut out the facing. Please let your material be on fold. Then you cut out both the front and the back facing. You understand? So you cut it out. This is what we use to make the neck area neat. You understand? So I'll cut it out like this. So this is the facing. I also did the same for the back. So next is to cut out the sleeve. So this is the starting point for the sleeve. So next is to mark out the sleeve length. So here I just marked out the sleeve length and add 2 inches for folding the hem. You understand? So guys, you use your ruler to draw it out. So our next calculation will be bust measurement divided by 12 plus 2 inches. That's the cap's height. You understand? So you mark out what you got. So here I got 4.5. So you do your own calculation and mark it out. Bust measurement divided by 12 plus 2 inches. Calf's height. You understand? So on this calf's height, this is where we are going to measure the armhole length. So I'll use my already cut fabric and measure out the armhole curve, then I'll measure it out on the calf's height. So I'll measure it out like this on the calf's height, then using my ruler I'll connect it to the starting point like this. All right, then the next thing I will do is to find the middle of this line. You understand? So once I get the middle of the line, I'll now make a curve like this. Guys, just watch how I made the curve. Just make a curve like this. Yeah. So once I'm done with this, the next is to input the biceps measurement. So you divide your biceps by 2, then you mark it out. I don't know if you need proper body measurement. Let me drop a video on that. So you connect it to the biceps, then to the hem line. So let me add the allowance. So I'll be putting in 2 inches allowance, just like I did for the for the body of the material. So I'll just add in 2 inches allowance and cut it off. So guys, you notch it here, you notch the middle part here. So guys, we are almost done with the sleeve. So you face the sleeve like this. You see the right side. So this is the back. So I'm going to face the right side like this. Yeah, I'm going to face it like so. This is the right side. Then I want to trim out the front. Remember when I did the front armhole, I trimmed it off. I trimmed it in by 0.75. So once I am done with it, I'm going to cut it off. You understand? I'm going to trim it off, trim it like this, just a little. You understand? Like 0.5 or thereabout. Just shape it out. So you label front, also label this part front, then the other part will be back, then here will be for the back. You understand? So this is how to fold it. I'll use my iron, pressing iron to press it, then fix, sew it and fix it up. So guys, let's talk about fixing the neckline. So I'm going to place the facing like this, right side facing each other, and so I'm going to sew it using 0.5 inch. So I'm going to repeat the same for the front neckline. I'll still place my interfacing like this, right side facing the right side of the main fabric. I'll sew it using 0.5. So guys, I am done with the sewing, so let me trim it off, then iron and show you. So you notch it out like this. So guys, I have ironed it, so this is it. Let me repeat the same thing for the back. I'll notch it like this, then turn it and iron. So I am done ironing, so this is it. So I'm going to get the front like this and place it together with the back, then get the back lining and place it like this, then I will fold it like this. Guys, just watch how I am doing it. I'll fold it like this, then sew. I'm trying to fix in the shoulder of the gown. I placed the front and the back together. So getting the back, this is the front. I'll place it together like this. Please guys, let this these two parts, the sewn part, match. I don't know how to explain it, but just match it up together, then match up the interfacing together, fold into two, and so this is the second shoulder. You just repeat it just like we did at the first. and so. So guys, next is to fix in the sleeve. I am done with sewing it. So this is how to fix in the sleeve. You get the center. You see, I am done with the shoulder. It's now very neat, just like I showed you. That's how you fix the shoulder. So I'm going to fix my sleeve. So right side facing each other. Remember the part labeled front and the part labeled back. So guys, please make sure you place it correctly. Then I'm going to place it like this, the center facing the sewn part. I'll place it like this, then take it to my machine and sew, and also sew like this. Then once I'm done, I'll repeat the same to the other side and then shape in the gown. Once I'm done with the shaping, I will do the hem. So guys, this is the end product of our gown. As you can see, it's beautiful. I trimmed the excesses and folded the hem. Thanks guys.